welcome back. Welcome back. Fresh off of a week 3 beatdown, the Buffalo Bills slide on into week 4, man. You know, who would have foreseen it outside of Orchard Park in Western New York, man? I mean, the Mafia came, we conquered, and now it's on the Fins week. But we're gonna get to a nice little slate of NFL games this week. Thank y'all for tuning in every Saturday, 9 a.m. You know how we do.
Whittle, what's good, man?
Hey, what's up, bro? What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Meg?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Nothing, man. This Deuce. And we're looking to add an all AFC host for the NFL podcast. You think that'd be something you'll be interested in?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Nothing. Look, I know you've been crazy busy. I've seen you, like, your bio has like 15 hashes with different stuff that you're doing. Hey, Morning, think you'll be interested in that?
I'm so happy y'all thought of me. Look at y'all. You know what? Let's do it.
Yeah, man. I had Meg from the Colts fan.
All right, are you familiar with Whittle?
Yeah, I know Whittle.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, definitely, man. I love to work with her again.
Schedule our first initial meeting a couple Mondays from now, and then we can get ready to rock on September 9th. That sounds good to you all?
Are we live?
Let's go! Let's go! Come on! Let's go! Let's go! Oh!
Welcome. Good morning. This is Routed Up with Megan Whittle. Meg is out today. She just graduated. Now, again, I believe. Now she's on vacation, but of course we know Meg. Meg is always doing something. Meg is extremely busy. She has, I don't know, like 6 or 7 gigs that she's doing. So she's taking a well-needed vacation. She just did a marvelous job on Atlanta Dream reporting this past season. But Meg will be back with us next week. But the man, the myth, the trash talker.
My God. Me?
The Commander's kryptonite. Whittle is in the building. Good morning, Whittle. How are you doing this morning, buddy?
I'm good, brother. I'm good, man. Fresh off of a week 3 annihilation. You know, I apologize. You know, we came down to DC and stomped the buildings like Snoop and them. But you know, hey man, I don't trash talk. I return energy, man. It's just like Serena in her prime, bro. If you send it our way, man, it's coming right back at you. So you know,
definitely. It was real cool, man. Chopping it up with y'all this week. Sometimes it got a little hectic, but for the most part, some good ball talk. But this weekend coming up, like we already had Green Bay versus the Lions. Like I really don't want Jordan Love to work out. Like we have been pedestrians at the quarterback position for like our last franchise quarterback was probably Sonny Jurgensen, bro. Even though we have 3 rings, franchise quarterback is probably all the way back there. And Green Bay can't go 3-4 decades with a franchise quarterback. I do not need him to work out. But how do you feel about Love before we get into the route tree?
Man, listen, Love is in his first 4 years as starter. I was skeptical about him when he first got drafted, but I mean, nobody can deny the tools, man. The guy has the tools. He's got the arm. He's got the mobility, and he had the production. You know what I'm saying? So for Green Bay to go and pick him, another quarterback that kind of wasn't in the forefront, they just kind of snatched him up. And like kind of how they did Aaron Rodgers, man. They waited till the end of the first round. They snatched up Aaron Rodgers. He ended up being the best quarterback in that draft and probably the 3 drafts before that one. So, they just know what they're doing, man. And I think Jordan Love being able to still keep the Packers relatively competitive. I mean, it's hard to say that after the way they got beat down this week by the Lions, but he's kept them relatively competitive. Watson's been out, Watson's been hurt, and he's missing Aaron Jones, and like the offensive line isn't what it used to be. So the fact that they're still relevant, losing Aaron Rodgers, not really having all his weapons, O-line not looking hot. Hey man, like you got to get hats off to that young man. I think they got it right, bro. And this is crazy because, like you said, they're about to have basically 42 years straight of just Hall of Fame quarterback play, man, if this kid works out. So
yeah, that's crazy. All right. Week 4 is upon us. Hot take. What's your hot take for this week?
Hot take this week. I think one of the major teams in the NFC East is going to fall this weekend. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's the Cowboys, and I'm not sure if it's the Eagles, but I think one of those teams are going to lose. If I had to, gun to head right now, I'm probably going to take the Commanders to beat the Eagles because they're coming off of a rough loss. Mm-hmm. I don't think Sam Howell is the type of quarterback to have a bad game and let that game linger. I think he can't wait to get back on the field and prove everybody wrong. The weapons are still there. The defense has to play better. I think that they will play better this week. And Philly looks vulnerable, bro. They look very vulnerable. So give me them, man. Give me the Commanders over the Eagles. And the hot take is I don't think it's close. I don't think it's close. I think the Commanders beat Philly by 2 or 3 scores. That's a hot take. Yeah.
And I do. If Dallas, they just lost to the Cardinals. If Dallas loses this week, is it okay? I love this, by the way, Whittle. Is there any chance we see Trey Lance? Because if they start the year off like 2-6 or something like that, and they looking at that $59 million to Dak next year, do you think they see what they have?
If they're out of the playoff race, absolutely. I think the writing will be on the wall. Mike McCarthy's out of there if they don't at least win at least a playoff game. And I mean they got to win a playoff game and be competitive as hell in the second round. Yeah. And I think that's the only way he saves his job. But I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't think Trey Lance is ready. I think Trey Lance needs an entire offseason with that team, with whatever team, as a starter, and that's the role he'll fall into. But we keep trying to fit Trey Lance into the starting quarterback role, and maybe that's not him. Maybe he's a backup. Maybe he's just a high-level backup for the rest of his career. We look at North Dakota State and we say, well, Carson Wentz came out of a small school and Josh Allen came out of a small school, and those guys are big and could run. And
but those guys played though, Whittle.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what people don't pay attention to. The snaps under their belt. Those guys had a lot of games, and Trey Lance just doesn't. He hasn't had it. So he's learning at this level. And sometimes once you get to a certain age, we had a conversation about this in the space this week, that sometimes you get to a certain age, man, those bad habits, they're entrenched and they're very hard to break. So he might not be able to break them, but he's still an NFL quarterback. So he'll continue to have a job. Listen, if Blaine Gabbert And what was the kid that Chase McDaniels?
Chase
What was his name?
Daniels.
Chase Daniels.
Chase Daniels.
If Blaine
Yeah.
Gabbert and Chase Daniels held down jobs in this NFL for quote 10 years, anything is possible. I'm telling you, anything is possible, man.
Most definitely. I want to ask you, while we're going through these a couple storylines, what's the ceiling for the Lions?
They're a helter skelter team, man. And right now they seem like hot and cold, but they're only, in my opinion, they're only hot and cold because their defense has not played consistently yet.
Mm-hmm.
The moment that their defense locks in and plays well, this is a 12-win team. This is a potential NFC championship team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're good enough to beat the Eagles, Cowboys, 49ers, one of those big, that's the big three, I guess, right now. I don't know if they're good enough to beat them, but they're definitely good enough to get to that point. So, yeah, I think that they're a 12-win NFC championship team. And if things go right, the poor man's Matt Ryan may take them to the next level.
And we also had a conversation, I believe, on the first show about having that cultural conversation about Justin Fields. But the Bears against the Broncos this week, where I think there's going to be some major changes in the offseason, either with coaching staff or personnel. And the same question that I have for Dak is the same one I have for Russell Wilson, because I'm thinking he's looking at surplus of 90 million if they were to release him next year. So what's your take on these two franchises going into the offseason if they don't turn it around?
You need to take the Broncos in the back and shoot it, man. Like, put it out of misery, bro. Take the Broncos to the vet and euthanize it. Get it out of the way. It's over, bro. It's over.
Yeah.
They need to have a fire sale. Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, whenever he gets healthy, Javonte, man, get them guys out of there, man.
Yeah.
Don't waste them young men's career over there losing. You saw they had one of their offensive linemen get up there and said, "Man, I've been here 7 years, and all I've done was lose."
And look, as much as we've lost, we've never had nobody do that. So it's bad.
That's what, yeah.
And they have a Super Bowl in the last 15 years or whatever. So
yeah, like, man, free them guys, man. You know how they say, like, free the hood, free the Broncos, man. Free the young Broncos, man. Get them out of there. I think that Russell Wilson's career as an NFL starter is done. I don't feel that way about that. I don't know what's going on. The Cowboys just seem so fragile to me, like, mentally. They lost Diggs for the year with the injury, and it's just like they fell apart after that. Dog, if you're talking about going to the Super Bowl and you lose to Little Bill, aka Josh Dobbs and the Cardinals, come on, bro. Come on. Like, you can't lose. You can't lose to the Cardinals. The Giants that got blown out by the Cowboys 40-0 was down 3 or 4 scores to the Cardinals and won that game. You can't lose to the Cardinals, man. And they lost to the Cardinals. I don't know. I think Dak is still the guy there. I just they got to figure something out, man.
I agree.
They got to figure something out.
I agree. Definitely, I agree. All right. The game of the week. The game of the week.
Chiefs Jets. Let's go. I'm playing.
Buffalo versus Dolphins, or Dolphins versus Buffalo. We're in Buffalo, but the weather's pretty good, so that's not going to be a factor for the most part. So it'll be a clean game. I mean, let's talk about it, Whittle. What do you see from this game happening from this game? Now, Jordan Poyer's out. I think that's a big loss, Whittle. I think that's a big loss.
Huge loss. Yeah. Poyer being out is definitely not ideal. I think when you play against Miami, the one area you don't want to lose anybody in is the secondary.
Yep.
And that's where we're at right now. Huge loss from a scheme, from a experience, from a production standpoint. It's huge loss, but just off pure athleticism and like physical traits,
Mm-hmm.
Poyer's kind of lost his step, man. I love him. Don't get it twisted. He's still all pro in my heart. He's still all pro, but he has definitely lost his step. And having Taylor Rapp out there will be an excellent fit. Him and DeMar Hamlin, they will be excellent for that Bills defense in trying to stop this Miami rushing attack. That to me is where this game will be won. It'll be won at the trenches. It'll be won at the line of scrimmage. Can that Buffalo Bills number 2, top 3, not 3, ranked DVOA defense stand up against this number 1 Miami offense? They run the ball extremely well. I think their worst rushing game was week 2 against the Patriots, and that was 140 plus yards. They ran for like $140. So we got to figure that out, man. The Bills are going to have to play assignment football on defense. They're going to have to tackle well. They can't miss tackles, because you make a mistake on this defense. I mean, you make a mistake against this offense, it's not a big gain. It's a touchdown. So we got to make sure that we step up and show out and take care of business by, when we get an opportunity to get a guy on the ground, we get him on the ground. Don't allow them to get yards after contact. I think they're like top 3 in the league in yards after contact. So yeah, we can't allow that. That's the biggest thing for me. I think that there's some things that McDermott will be able to do in the same galaxy, in the same area code as Bill Belichick, in taking away some of the quick hot reads, or the initial reads for Tua. And if you can force Tua to hold the ball 3 or more seconds, I think my pass rush has let me not be a homer here. I think the Buffalo Bills pass rush. I think we have a good opportunity to get home. And Tua's not the biggest guy, and when you're not the biggest guy playing quarterback, you have to throw through windows. We have a 6'6" Leonard Floyd on one end, 6'7" Gregory Rousseau on the other end. We have a 6'6" Jordan Phillips, a 6'5" AJ Epinesa, and we got a bunch of tall guys. So if we can get those guys on the field and we can get some hands up, man, it could be an issue.
I think that would definitely distract us, especially from the quick game, because that's what they really want to do. They want to, pick you apart in the quick game so those guys can get some yak yards. Are you concerned at all with the pre-snap motions at all with Miami?
Nah, man. I'm not concerned with it, because what can you do about it?
That's right.
It's going to happen. It definitely does take away the ability as a defender to kind of hit a guy before he can get on his horse and get up the field. So it does take that away. You can't. It's hard to minimize that speed or even out their speed advantage with some physicality, because these guys are going on. They're getting guys on free releases. So what they're gonna have to do is defend spots. And I don't care what you do, you have tendencies, right? Like I said before the Commanders game, we're not gonna, if we try to match up weapon for weapon, your offense against my defense, we're gonna lose, because you have skill position players that are faster, more athletic than we have on the defensive side. So what we had to do was get pressure and defend spots on the field that we know Sam Howell wants to go to. And that's what happened. Essentially, you saw those interceptions that, it just seemed like guys were stepping in front of passes as soon as Sam released them. And that's because film study an extremely prepared defense and an extremely disciplined defense. We knew where the ball was going before it got there. I think you can do the same thing with defending the Miami Dolphins. Then the other issue though is that Tua is extremely good at looking off safeties, using his eyes to free up windows down the field to throw. So we have to be cognizant and not cheat of Tua's eyes. We can't watch his eyes and think, all right, I'm gonna make a big play here. And that's where the loss of Poyer scares me, because Taylor Rapp and DeMar Hamlin are both younger guys, inexperienced compared to Poyer, and the opportunity to make a big play against a division rival, sometimes it might be too much. So, but if we stay disciplined, man, I think that we can. I think we can get a few stops. We defending a shorter amount of field, and get some field goals on the board versus touchdowns. And if we can do that on defense or offense, their defense is ranked 21. They let Russell Wilson put up 300 plus on them.
Right.
They gave up 33 to the Chargers, and then Mac Jones and that offense that can't get out of his own way put up 17, and they lost the turnover battle. Miami got more turnovers from the Patriots than the Patriots got from Miami. So Buffalo comes in with a very good offense, the second leading rusher in the league, and James Cook, not Josh Allen. So stop saying that we don't have a run game outside Josh Allen.
That makes you all a whole different animal that no one has seen yet. If you could consistently be that running team, especially when November, December, January hit, I think that's going to be very beneficial. It shows you all being a totally different team than what you were these past few years.
No, absolutely, and we have more ways to run the football than just James Cook. Like, we can hand it to Damian Harris, and he runs with power and speed. And then we got Latavius Murray. Basically, you handed it to a linebacker and tell him to go get me 3 yards, and he does it. So, for sure.
All right, what's your prediction? What's the score prediction for this game? For our game of the week?
I got Buffalo going into the fourth quarter with a solid lead. I think it's somewhere around 31-20, 31-17, something like that. 31-16, somewhere around there, and or maybe even like 28-20, something like that. I think Buffalo gets a field goal early to make it 31-20, whatever. And then I think the Dolphins go down and get a score. I think they go down and get a score, and I think they get the ball back, whether that's a 3-and-out or an onside kick or something like that. I think they get the ball back, and the defense stands up 31-23 Buffalo, and we can stop talking about this Miami team because their fans are annoying. Y'all are annoying. The Dolphin fans are annoying.
Now they on a whole different level. Like, I mean, they on a whole different level, man. For us, you got one or two that are annoying in our fan base. One or two. But them, it's like one unit, bro. You got a few that's not. It's like the opposite. You got a couple that's not annoying, but
it's like a cult, bro. It's like a cult. It's like a cult, and they only like 6 or 7 people made it out, and they trying to tell the world, "Yo, we're Dolphin fans, but we not them, and they're crazy. Stay away from them." Yeah, for sure.
On the other side of this promo, we're going to get to our upset and blowout notice of the week.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy C. Henry, the host and producer of the Fellas Present Sports Rap Podcast. I discuss the latest happenings around the NFL, college football, the NBA, and also the latest from the Detroit sports scene. I try to keep it informative and funny, and we always keep it light with some of my hip-hop favorites mixed in as interludes. Follow me at CHEN313 on Twitter. That's at CHEN313. And also subscribe to the show on Anchor, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. And again, that's the DA Fellas Presents Sports Rap Podcast.
All right, Whittle. Upset of the week. Who you got?
Commanders over Eagles, man. I really don't feel like this should be an upset. I really don't feel like it's an upset, but I think that the Commanders are a good football team. I think that they took their lumps last weekend, and that they're gonna hit the field against a divisional opponent, which you already play well, and say, you know what, this is a game that we're gonna win. And I think the Eagles have just been. I mean, they haven't looked great, man. They have not looked great throughout the season. They struggled through some games. I know they kind of ran it up. This last game against Minnesota. They ran it up, and in this last game, they ran it up a bit. But yeah, I think the Commanders can get them. I think that front four can do enough against their running attack. I like Jamin Davis in this game to make his presence felt. And Forbes has got to get me one, bro. Like Forbes, you got to get me one this weekend, bro. I need that. I need Forbes to get me one, at least one. And Cameron Curl, like, do me a favor and get one as well. Listen, Jalen Hurts likes to throw the ball up to his big weapons. Make a play. Somebody got to make a play, and that's how you take and that's how the Commanders can take the Eagles down. That's what I got.
I like that. Yeah, that definitely will be upset.
Hey, and I'm
right.
not trying to be I'm not saying it because because
Oh no, we know. Yeah. I mean that's
really
if you look at all the games this week, that's probably the one that has. I think it's two more. I think it's one more has a bigger.
Oh no, there's no bigger spread than the Chiefs versus the
the Jets.
That's
The
like I
Jets
think
have
that's
no
like
hope,
14
man. Like,
points or something. Yeah, they done.
I actually, I mean, I know you don't feel bad for him, but I actually feel bad for him, man. Like, I really do, man.
Yeah.
but before we go on, do you
Yeah,
like?
nah.
There
I
isn't
don't.
a move. I know, but there isn't a move for them to make. I mean, what are they going to do? Bring in Carson Wentz, trade for Jacoby Brissett, Taylor Heineke, like one of those top backups? Like, what do they do?
Tank.
I mean, do they tank? Yeah, you tank, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You tank. You thought you weren't gonna have your first round pick because Aaron Rodgers never misses games. Well, first series, he's out for the year.
He's out.
You got your first round pick now. Tank and go get a quarterback, or if you don't want to go get a quarterback in a draft and you feel like we don't want to have to pay a quarterback after we pay Aaron Rodgers, go trade for Davis Mills. Davis Mills, he may not have looked great with the Texans all the time,
moments, though.
but he has some moments, and that's a guy you put him on this Jets team with. Garrett Wilson, go out and get you another pass catching weapon. You got Breece Hall, he's still going to be around. Fix that offensive line and this defense, and you got a team that's going to win 10, 11 games every year, 100%. So you do that, you pay your young
Aaron
guys, and then you go out and get a rookie quarterback.
I'm sure Aaron will be there next year. They owe him about $100 million because he adjusted his contract this year. So they definitely need to draft a quarterback, and maybe sit behind Rodgers for a year. I don't know about this stuff he got going about coming back in December, January. I don't see it happening. I don't know what's going on with that.
No, he's lying. He's lying, and this ain't the first time an athlete is lying to us. It's cool. We got it.
All right. Who's on blowout notice?
Oh, the Jets. Yeah. The Jets are going to get murdered. The Jets are getting murdered, man. This is. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it just to see how bad it is. I can't wait for this. Division rival, the Chiefs in their building get blown out. Bro, I'm going to terrorize the Jet fans this week for sure. Yeah.
All right, let's get to our leaders of the week before we get out of here. Who's your passing leader this week?
Okay. Oh man. I'm gonna go with Matthew Stafford. I believe that they who are the Rams playing?
The Colts.
Let me see. Let me pull up the schedule real quick. Colts. Okay.
They got the Colts.
Yeah, I think the only way that they can. Okay, so the only way that they can score is through the air.
Yeah.
I feel like they got to get it done with Matt Stafford, and the only way that they can is through Matt Stafford. That Colts secondary, like Julius Brents is playing great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He's playing
The
great.
secondary from this past
It's
draft
not
is
enough,
doing
man.
pretty good
I just
too
don't.
with him.
Yeah.
The second,
You
the
know what? Let me
secondary
change that.
draft is doing pretty good.
I'm gonna change that. Give me Russell Wilson. Playing that Bears team, give me Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson might throw for 380 this weekend.
Yeah, I
The
wouldn't be
Bears
surprised.
are terrible. Yeah, the Bears are terrible, bro. Yeah, give me Russell Wilson. I'm gonna take Russell Wilson for the pass leader this week.
And then you're gonna hear from Broncos fans and probably from Sean Payton that they finally found their groove.
Well, that's fine. They got 70 put on them. I'm not listening to anything else they got to say all year. Nothing.
Oh man. All right, rushing leader.
Russian leader. Give me Christian McCaffrey. Give me McCaffrey this week. Yeah. I think
like
that
it.
Cardinals, I think the Cardinals defense is pesky, but it's the 49ers, man. Give me McCaffrey. Give me McCaffrey for about $150.
And this is what I say about the Cardinals real quick, Whittle. Yes, they came to this year with the attitude, everybody dogging them, saying they're gonna tank. They nobody just picked up a quarterback off the street, blah 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 blah. And they playing pretty good, playing well, high, like you say, pesky. But we know, man, that only lasts for so long. Like that
Right.
only lasts for so long. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, week 6, week 7, we're gonna really see this team who they are, and they might, lose like 12, 13 games in a row, man, and look terrible doing it. So
For sure.
some people believing in them, they ain't decide, man. Yeah, they will. Like that adrenaline only lasts for so long, right?
Yeah, if you're a young player, man, you can't, especially a young player a young player in the NFL. You've been winning your whole life, man.
Yeah.
You've been carrying your teams from Pop Warner to high school and then in
That's a good
college.
point.
And now here we are in the pros, and losing like that, man, just over and over and over.
That's a good point,
That's it.
man. It's a real good point. All right, receiving leaders this week.
Give me Jettas. Give me Jettas. I struggle between him and Devontae. But yeah, I don't know, man. The Panthers, like defensively, they're solid. But offensively, they're so bad that eventually, like, I just think Minnesota will have so many cracks at it that they're gonna have to get, they're gonna have to get a ton of yards. But it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Devontae was the guy this week against that Chargers defense. The Chargers defense has disappointed me for 3 years in a row now. So yeah.
And then ain't somebody hurt this week? I thought I saw something across from for the Chargers missing someone.
Mike Williams. Mike Williams is
I
out
know
for
Mike
the
Williams
year.
got going IR. Yeah, I think he's on IR. I think it was somebody on the defense, but man. So just talking about the Vikings real quick, they was 11-0 through 1-score games last year, but now 0-3 on 1-score games this year. And people say they was probably one of the biggest frauds in NFL history last year. And I was one of them. I mean, we should have beat them, but it goes to show you how the NFL can flip from one year to another. Because he's on pace to do like what 5,000 yards, 6,000 yards, and Jetta's on pace to knock on some crazy pace too. So I don't know, man. Like I think at some point, and just like when we talk about Russell, when we talk about Dak. I mean, the Vikings start off like 2-8, something like that. Well, see, the trade deadline is week 8. So they had like 2-6 or something like that around the trade deadline. Right. Do you think they make a move?
There's only one move for them to make. If they get to the point where they say, you know what, we're a bad team this year, we need to tank and try to go after one of these quarterbacks. There's only one move. Send Kirk Cousins to the 49ers.
Yeah.
That's the only move. Yeah. There's no send them anywhere else. Like, where else you send them? Tampa Bay? For what? They're not good enough to win. They're not good enough to what? You know what? Let me shut up, because you put Kirk Cousins on that Tampa Bay team, they might be good.
They
enough
different.
They different.
They got some weapons. They different.
Yeah. So those are really the only two moves. Those two moves in the NFC. And maybe the Titans, but the Titans got to get it together defensively. They making my pick look bad right now. I picked the Titans to win that division. They're making me look bad. I'm not happy about it. But those it's only got a couple of moves, and we'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
All right, Whittle. This was a good one. Any last words from you?
Nah, man, not really. I just want to plug my other pod. I got a pod on Wednesday nights. Coast to Coast. Follow me at Whittle2K on Twitter. And you can get a link to the pods I'm associated with. So and yeah, check me out on the Twitter space, man. I'm gonna have to scale back a little bit starting this new job, but I'm gonna have to scale back a tad bit, but trust me. When the Bills beat your team, I'm on your neck. Whether it's 1 hour or 10 hours, I'm on it. Okay? There's no escaping it. None.
There you have it. This is Routed Up with Meg and Whittle. Enjoy your breakfast. Enjoy your day. Get ready to tomorrow, because it's going to be a good slate of games. From Routed Up, peace.